Hiya, and welcome back to Eden's Reach, the game that teaches us that, uh, uh, yeah, I don't know. I cannot think of anything. I genuinely cannot think of anything. The game that teaches us that, yeah, DJ is good. DJ is good. Anyways, let's just hop right in. Why the fuck is it using, like 30% CPU? It shouldn't be. Max, I need you here ASAP. First aid, one person. Also, please escort the Husky safely out of the bar. I still have some business to attend to. Hiya. Oswald. I'm left speechless as he looks back at me with an unexpectedly gentle expression. It's okay, Adrian. I'll take it from here. You go have a good night's rest, yeah? Alright. Within a few seconds, Max arrives, first aid kit in hand. He has a scowl that he's worn since I got here. What a fucking nuisance. Oh, you're Max, right? Oh, lovely. The pup remembered my name. So, you gonna get going or what? What about Dylan? I'm gonna have to babysit the idiot. Leaves the front door unguarded, so I had someone cover for me. Don't go adding on to my workload now. Alright, just please make sure he's okay. He'll be fine. He's got a lot tougher skin than you, that's for sure. I'll just take that as an okay. That tiger is certainly difficult. I watch him carry Dylan onto his back, taking a few quick glances at them. Yeah. With Max being surprisingly gentle with the Roo, he responds accordingly to the pained groans my best friend was making. I appreciate the gesture in a way. Aww. At least he's careful when he has to be, or maybe it has something to do with Dylan's relationship with his coworkers. I proceed to just place all of my thoughts and questions on the back burner for now, feeling increasingly exhausted as I make my way towards the exit. I just go and leave the tension of the situation that had just occurred behind me. As soon as I exit the bar, though, things begin to feel off. The roads downtown seem rather empty, barren even. And though this place doesn't really get the most foot traffic at this time of night, there should still be a few people walking around, yet here I am on this empty sidewalk, with no other living being within sight. I proceed to cautiously wait at the bus stop, placing my DJ pad on the seat next to me. I remove my jacket, feeling rather uncomfortable because of the humid atmosphere. I then look through my phone and check the time for when the next bus is due to arrive. No signal. Hiya. Strange. I was certain I had some on the way here. Fuck. All of this is starting to get really concerning. I wait for what feels like 30 minutes before the bus finally arrives, making me feel the sudden urge to gather my belongings and enter the bus quickly. As I climb the steps, though, I quickly realize that this is just going to be the only me on the passenger seats. Woohoo! Alone with this driver, or rather on a rather late bus in the middle of the night. I decide to give the driver a curt nod as I scan my armlet for the bus pass. Hiya, and thank you, taking a seat as the vehicle drives off. We eventually reach the stop near the central plaza, and although the place is rather populated, the feeling that I've had since leaving the bar earlier never really left me. I check my phone for the time. It's 1:35 a.m. That's way longer than the trip I took to get to the bar. I start worrying that something's gone terribly wrong. I hastily jog to my apartment, nearly stumbling on the steps as I make my way to my front door. Before I'm able to unlock the door, though, a piece of paper plastered to it catches my eye. Eviction notice? No. This can't be. This isn't right. This must be some sort of mistake. The guy from the bar must have knocked me out cold. This is all just one big nightmare. My apartment's front door swings open, revealing the mostly empty interior. Everything essential, including my couch and dining table, all gone. All that's left are the dusty counters in my empty fridge. Even the rack next to my door isn't there, along with all my shoes and flip-flops. Everything. I half-heartedly go through my bedroom door. I stare at the large space that my bed used to occupy. My closet and desks are gone, and the setup I worked my ass off for years to put together. No, I refuse to believe this. None of this is real. My rent isn't even due yet. I didn't even do anything wrong. It's just the stress. Yeah, the stress of the day must have gotten to my head. Hiya. I've read somewhere that if you realize you're dreaming, you can control what happens. So, if I think hard enough, my cabinets and fridge will be filled back up with my stuff again. My warm bed will be there, and I will...
Emotional damage!
My warm bed will be there, and I will be able to embrace the sheets. My PC will be in the one stark corner of my room, blasting me with light. I commit these memories into intention as I slowly open the door. Just a nightmare. I want to believe that this is all just a stupid nightmare, but no matter how many times I close my eyes hoping that everything I lost will come back to me, it doesn't happen. My mind wanders on all the things I could have possibly done over the month, the week, today. Then, the realization suddenly hit me, coming down like a lightning bolt directly from the heavens. With it came the weight, the real weight, of those words previously spoken. Regret defying us. I collapsed on the floor with the devastation weighing heavily on my chest. They do have Discord. I'll message them about it probably tomorrow. Tears run down the sides of my muzzle, and my whole body feels numb. Why did this all have to happen? It was only a few hours ago that I was having the time of my life back at Oswald's bar. I thought everything would be smooth sailing from there. Now, I'm even lower than I was before I dropped out, back in that dark place where there was no hope, no chance. I was lucky enough back then that Dylan was there for me, but now? All the things I've worked for are gone. Now I'm nothing more than a husky with only a DJ pad and a cute face to his name. I sluggishly crawl towards the space where my bed used to be, the points where its legs left a mark still persisting on the foam flooring. I caress one of the markers with my paw while I lay myself, curled up from the cold air. I take out my new jacket and spread it out on top of me as a makeshift blanket, which admittedly doesn't do much, but at least it's something. I place my phone next to me, staring at the light it gives off as a slight ringing in my ears reverberates. I know I can't exactly stay here forever now that I'm evicted, but at least one more night. Just one, then I leave for good. My eyelids become heavy as each second passes, growing more tired as tears continue to streak down the side of my face. With the last remaining bit of my strength, though, I manage to mumble out loud between sobs. Someone, please, take me out of this nightmare. Wow, that sucks. A low volume beeping wakes me up from my light sleep. I groggily turn to try and ignore it, but it's incessant. Unable to go back to sleep, feeling slowly returns to my body as the pain from laying on the floor makes itself known. It's a sharp pain starting from my back. It's beginning to look like I wasn't going to get any more sleep, so I instead sluggishly turned to pick up my phone. It was 3:30 in the morning. I swiped through to the home screen, seeing the several text messages Dylan sent me. Weirdly, though, I had several missed calls from Oswald. Why is he calling me at such a ridiculous hour? I had little time to contemplate as my phone rings once more. It's Oswald again. I sigh deeply and accept the call this time. Hey, Adrian. Thank goodness you picked up. I was starting to worry that something bad might have happened to you. You can say that, I suppose. A moment of silence passes, prompting me to clear my throat that was kind of dry from crying myself to sleep. I have to at least not sound like a total wreck right now. What's wrong? You sound terrible. Well, there goes that idea. I don't... My eyes begin to well up. I can't seem to bring myself to talk. I want to tell someone. I need to! But the tears, they just won't stop flowing. And my throat, it's tightening even if I try to stop sobs from escaping. I take deep breaths, trying my best to calm down, but I just can't seem to recompose myself. Adrian. Here, why don't you come out for a bit? We can talk things through better in person. I eventually let out a weak grunt of approval. Oswald was seemingly able to calm me down just like that. Satisfied, Oswald ended the call. I take a few more moments to fully calm down before standing up from the foam flooring. I try my best to prepare as much as I can before heading out, though there wasn't much else to do besides putting on my new jacket and carrying my DJ pad along. Satisfied with myself, I head out to the cold open air. I just take a taxi to the bar. I reach the bar much faster than anticipated. I go out of my cab and the thin outline of neon greets me once more. I expect Max to be at the front entrance, but in his place was Oswald instead. He waves me over with a warm smile and I quickly approach where he stands. He surveys me from head to toe, probably gauging out my emotions. I merely look away as he does so, prompting him to finish faster. Hey Adrian, was the trip back here okay? Ugh, he's trying to sound friendly. Most likely due to what happened earlier. It's not that I'm ungrateful for the gesture, but I've grown hating when people do this kind of thing to me. It's just like what they did back then, back when people pitied me for dropping out. I just let out a soft sigh and attempt to humor his attempts, not really wanting to land myself in more trouble than I already had. I guess it was. That's good, at least. Now, what were you going to tell me? I really thought that I had finished crying all of my tears out earlier before I got here, but they slowly began falling down the sides of my muzzle once more. I feel my body shrivel up where I stood, the sensation of numbness slowly creeping across my being. It's all gone. I've got nothing left. Nothing left? What do you mean? I went straight home like you suggested, but when I got there, everything that I had was gone. All my furniture, my clothes, my electronics, even my food, everything was just gone. I remained silent for a few moments afterward. Meanwhile, Oswald doesn't respond. I could, however, hear him grumbling under his breath. He seems annoyed? I could, however... Wait, that's an unexpected reaction. I thought he'd be more sympathetic. I can't believe this. I'm so sorry this happened to you. He says in a gentle and worried tone. I don't really have the energy to properly process this concern, though, but I am grateful for the sentiment. Here, I'll send you the payment for the gig earlier. You can use one of those empty rooms we have here if you need it. I guess a place to stay wouldn't be so bad. It would definitely be better than the floor, but are you sure it's fine? Of course it is. Don't worry. I'll sort things out when we get there. You don't have to be concerned about anything. Alright. Oswald walks towards the entrance of the bar and opens the door. I stand behind him and think of what to say, what to do, what the future holds, if I even get that far. So, where will I be staying? The backstage? The employees' room? Oswald turns to me after a clicking sound comes from his direction. He has a rather confused expression on him, most likely from what I said. What? No, you aren't going to be sleeping there. I was actually waiting for you to arrive so I can finally close up. Oh, did you have to wait long? Not really. Had to wait till Dylan was able to get home on his own, though. He actually just left a few minutes before you arrived. A small speck of concern assaults my mind when I hear Dylan's name. Is he gonna be alright? He was a bit shaken up, but he'll recover. Hearing that gives me some peace of mind. Not all of my worries were laid to rest, though. Oswald? What about the two men from earlier? He grimaces at the mention of those two, but he quickly brushes it off himself. You don't have to worry about them. I made sure they won't bother you, or anyone for that matter. Again. I stared at him silently while wondering about what exactly he did to those two. An awkward silence falls between us. Oswald clasps his hands together, taking this opportunity to fix his rather rugged-looking tux. Strange. It seemed a lot cleaner when I first got here. I quickly dismiss those thoughts, though, and just chalk it up as another day at the bar. Being the owner must have its own difficulties, after all. He leads me further into the bar than I have been earlier. The place is mostly empty at this point, and lights are off, leaving this rather unsettling feel to the place. Oswald walks towards the same door at the other end of the bar where he directed those two men to work things out. He opens the door, and I follow not too far behind him. The door closes behind me on its own, and the scenery that greets me immediately arouses heavy suspicion. The door leads into a tight alleyway, with one entrance on one end, and the one behind me, and a thick wall on the other end, the direction that Oswald's walking to. I pause slightly, but he notices. He then signals me to follow, and I comply despite my growing uneasiness. He stops in front of the thick concrete wall and begins fiddling his armlet as he stares at the dead end in front of him. My skepticism rises, and I slowly begin to doubt that he's bringing me anywhere near a bed. He lets out an annoyed grunt, nearly smacking his own wrist in frustration. It's kind of like how you smack a faulty remote in an attempt to get it to work. Come on, you stupid mechanism! A little while after grumbling, the walls ever so slightly shakes, causing some dust to fall off. After a heavy sigh, he fiddles around with it a bit more. Hey, yo! After he lets out a satisfied huff, the wall in front of us comes sliding down, mechanical clinging and clanging coming from below. That takes me by surprise. Oswald starts stepping in and signals for me to follow. Now this is definitely not normal. In fact, this is extremely unsettling. He quickly goes down the steps, and I inch toward the entrance. Completely hesitant to follow, Oswald notices my hesitation and stops midway, half of his body already out of sight, hidden in the darkness below. Look, I understand all this looks rather sketchy, but please trust me. Well, it's not like I have a better choice at the moment. Actually, there is Dylan's apartment, but it's on the other side of the city. I'm too tired and too strapped for cash to get there. Even if I did just get paid, I guess Oswald's right. Okay, I trust you. Come on then, get those feet moving. The lights are motion activated, by the way. I do as I'm told and start walking down the steps. Listening to Oswald's footsteps echoing within the inky blackness of the stairwell. One after another, a set of lights slowly reveal a short tunnel situated below, with a speck of light faintly glowing towards the end as it bent. While we walk, my curiosity starts to grow. I begin to wonder why Oswald is doing all this. All of this seems a bit too complex for him to just get me a bed to rest for one night. So, Oswald. Yes? Why are you going out of your way to help me? How do I put this? You seem a bit too involved and overly concerned for someone you barely even know. I have my reasons. Let's just say that there's a lot more to this situation than it appears. His answer only serves to make me even more curious, but before I even manage to question him further, we reach the end of the tunnel. It connects to a large room teeming with quite a variety of things. Technological equipment, couches, panels, all of it is being stored here. A woman, an orange tiger, is pacing back and forth across a large monitor, and several different smaller ones, her focus unwavering. Seated on one of the couches is Max, but in different clothing. He was handling what appears to be a personal panel, scrolling through, looking rather bored before Oswald greets him. Well, you sure took your sweet time closing up shop. Sorry, had to deal with a few things. The two immediately look in our direction. First with the look of happy familiarity, but then their expressions change as soon as they lay their eyes at me. The woman's expression becomes that of curiosity. Before I can get a read on Max, though, he suddenly stands from his seat. What is he doing here? Max, it's just Adrian. Nothing to be worried about. Nothing to be worried about? What do you mean nothing to be worried about? Why the hell did you bring someone in here? Max briskly paces towards me, a sense of violence in his gait, but Oswald blocks away, keeping me from the male tiger's reach. Get the fuck out of the way! What are you even fucking planning this time, Oswald? I'm not planning anything. He just needs a place to stay. Oh, so you hired a homeless DJ for the bar, and now you brought him here. Real nice, you fucking idiot! Oswald growls as he grabs Max and takes him to the center of the room. I just stand there by the entrance, keeping my distance from the two. Eden Corpse has something to do with this Max. Oh, and that's supposed to make me feel better? It was their fault he's homeless now. We aren't a fucking charity home, Oz. Why do we have to take responsibility for this pup? Max, it's our fault that he got in this situation in the first place. And how sure are we that he isn't some spy for them, huh? If that husky turns out to be working for them, then you effectively spoon-fed our location to the enemy. I know. I'm still a bit skeptical myself. Then why take the risk at all? Because if we don't take risks on people, how will we be strong enough to fight against Eden Corpse? They could be anywhere, Oswald. Appearances don't even matter to them. They'll stop at nothing as long as they get the results they want. But you wouldn't know that, would you fucking deadbeat of a son? You've gone way too fucking far, Max. Take that back, you piece of Enough! The tigress intervenes, separating the two much bigger men before they lunge at each other's throats. The two continue to growl while giving each other death glares as they make distance grow between them. Oh, Core. I keep forgetting that. Sorry, I keep forgetting that. If the DJ doesn't end up leaking our location, you two having this screaming match is fucking well. Max, can you just, I don't know, go to your room and calm down? But Alice, now! Max grumbles and turns to leave, but not before he looks at me with cold, bitter eyes. He disappears into a hallway right next to the couch he was previously sitting on. I could hear the sound of someone punching a stone wall echoing from his direction. And bring a fucking punching bag while you're at it! Leave me the fuck alone! The tigress, whose name is apparently Alice, grumbles while fixing her glasses, letting out a heavy sigh afterwards. Ugh, what a hothead. He was much calmer back when we were kids. I'm pretty sure he got that from a certain someone. Oswald sits on the couch and begins to unwind. Alice, on the other hand, raises her brow at the wolf, which he notices. What? Don't you what me? You have a lot of explaining to do! What explaining? Alice then points at me and Oswald quickly connects the dots. It seems that scuffle with Max made him forget about me for a bit. I can explain. Just do it after you pick up Ellie. They dropped her off at Park Avenue. Okay, just don't give me another mouthful. Oh, she runs the whole thing. Oswald stands and walks towards the exit, patting my back as he passes me by. I'm left in Alice's company. The tigress then cautiously approaches me. Sorry you had to see that. They aren't usually this rowdy. Believe me. I sure hope not. Those two looked so scary. They kinda have to be. They're technically the leaders of our little group here. What group? I'll explain everything once I get all the deets of you from Ozzy. For now, we'll start with this. Why'd he bring you here? I assume that Ozzy just means Oswald, by process of elimination. Thank you, 0 great multiple choice tests in high school. I blush a bit as I'm honestly embarrassed and guilty to have all this happen just for some decent sleep. I kinda need a bed. Well, you're in luck. There's a spare bedroom in here. You can just use that one. Alright. She coyly directs me to the same hallway that Max went through earlier, which makes me nervous that I'll meet him on the way in his angered state. Alice notices my apprehension, a smirk on her face as she turns to fully face me again. Don't worry. The spare room is closer to here than Max's. Besides, he has plenty of time to calm himself. That is, of course, unless he wants to get another earful from me, and believe me, he definitely doesn't want that. Right. We walk towards the hallway, each side littered with the row of doors from end to end. She stops at the closest door to the right and opens it for me. Here we are. Now, it isn't exactly first class, but it'll have to do. It's okay. I'm not really picky with accommodations. That makes both of us. Best get some sleep while you can. We'll just have to catch you up on things later. Preferably when those two blockheads aren't around. Blockheads? Who else would I be referring to? I'll admit, that did get a chuckle out of me. Thanks, Alice. Whoa there! We haven't even been acquainted yet. Best hold off from the first name basis till after I get to know you better. Oh! Sorry about that. Rookie mistake. Happens to the best of us. Right, I'll just go ahead and sleep now. Smart move. It's Betty bedtime. I enter the room as Alice begins to walk away. Dim lights immediately turn on as I enter. Seems like every light here is automatic. I immediately set my sights on the bed, crashing into it in one swift motion, not bothering to even take my jacket or shoes off. I just want to end this extremely long and utterly exhausting day. The bed isn't even as soft as my old one, but it gets the job done just fine regardless. Better than the foam flooring, at least. I begin to drift off as soon as I close my eyes. Adrian, he's the Scooby of the team. Oh no. I don't know what that means. I understand, like, Scooby, but, like, I don't know. Psst. A mild shaking gently pulls me into a half-awake state. A hushed call pierces through my ear. I attempt to ignore the disturbances at first, but it doesn't stop. Whatever the sensations came from pokes and prods several parts of my body until I eventually cave in. What the... My slumber is once again short-lived. I open my eyes slowly, seeing a blurry, vaguely familiar, burly figure towering over me. Whoever it is covers some of the night lights. My vision ever so slowly starts to clear, and before me turns out to be Oswald in a more casual set of clothing. Hey, do you mind coming out a bit? I want to show you something. Can I wait until after I get more sleep? What time is it anyway? 5:30 in the morning. 2 hours? How many times is Oswald gonna suddenly wake me up? I hope this doesn't become a regular thing. This better be worth it. It will be, I promise. Oswald leads me towards the door and then straight to the exit of the base rather hastily. Our quick pace knocking me out of my tired stupor instantly. We briskly go up the steps and he quickly opens the door when we get to the entrance. He leads me through a winding staircase, one that goes up several floors. Oswald nearly pushes me up the steps, leaving almost no effort on my part to actually go up aside from moving my legs. The wolf continues to push me up to the highest floor. Before we reach it, though, he places one of his paws over my eyes. Oh? What are you doing? Shh, you'll ruin the surprise. I go ahead and just concede to whatever he was planning to do. A moment later, I hear a door slide open in front of me. Okay. Specks of light peek through the small gaps between Oswald's fingers, and I could feel Oswald's hold lighten as the light intensifies. Okay, you can open your eyes now. Oswald removes his paw from my eyes and causes me to squint after being in the darkness for a bit. When my vision adjusts back to normal, I'm greeted by one of the most breathtaking views of Bayline City that I've ever seen in my life. This place, that turns out to be the rooftop of the bar, had an amazing view of the sunrise. It's beautiful. I knew you'd love it. Really? How'd you know I would? Because I've never met anybody who didn't. I agree. Who wouldn't like this kind of view? The sunrise is spectacular here. The taller buildings frame the ball of light slowly rising from the horizon lined by the sea. The clouds in the sky painted in bright yellow tones blending to their normally white coloration. The sky in front of us displays a gradient ranging from the blues of the night to the yellows of the morning. You know, this place never fails to give me hope. Hope? Yep, hope. For what? That tomorrow will be less shittier than today. For starters, I'm sure that's one of the things you're wishing for. Well, with this view, it's already gone a lot better. Good. Oswald hands me something while I continue to watch the sunrise unfolding in front of me. I turn my attention to it and see that it was my headphones, kept neat and tidy without so much as a scratch on it. My headphones? You left it on the stage. I've never seen anything like it. So it caught my attention quite easily. While I did make them myself, I can't believe I forgot about them! After what happened last night, it's understandable that it'd slip your mind. I couldn't even deny it. Last night was so eventful that my mind ended up all over the place. But as Oswald and I watched the sunrise, I can't help but think about how kind he'd been to me throughout all this. I think it's quite rare for someone to be like this. I take a quick glance at him as I clutch my headphones. Hey, Oswald. Yeah? Thank you. As a college student, yeah, that's accurate. A few hours pass, allowing me to get a good night's rest, albeit rather short in my room. Well, it's more like a good morning's rest than anything, but that's besides the point. A short while later, I started hearing several distinct noises coming from outside. I slowly opened my eyes to stare at the door while I lay flat on my bed, waves of curiosity washing over me, and making me want to see what's happening on the other side. My body begins fighting with my brain as soon as I stand up, though, with a sinking feeling that makes me slump back onto my bed and stay there, leaving me in a personal torturous cycle of playing hot and cold with opening the door. Midway through my hesitation, it suddenly slides open. My vision is suddenly fixated on the silhouette of a large figure blocking the doorway. I stumble slightly backward when I see Max leaning on the doorframe with an apathetic look in his eyes. Hi? He glances my way as I stutter in front of him, sighing under his breath. Ugh. Just get your ass over to the briefing room. The briefing room? It's the first room you saw when Oswald brought you here. Alice called for you. What was she wanting with me? Beats me. He moves out of the way to let me pass. As I walk past him, though, he mutters something under his breath. Anyway. Huh? Max raises his brow at me once more before walking towards the briefing room. Doesn't matter. You're gonna be leaving soon anyways. What? Why do you look so surprised? We never discussed that you could stay for any longer than one night. I guess that's true, but... The tiger sighs once more before turning to face me. 'Cause you're hot and you're cold, you're yes and you're no, you're in and you're out, you're up and you're down. Look, let me save you the trouble. Alice is most likely going to tell you just that, only she's going to go and sugarcoat it, but now you know better. He turns and starts walking to the direction of the briefing room, leaving me behind to my worries. I guess it is true. I shouldn't have expected any more than one night's stay around here, but where else am I to go? Am I being too optimistic to bet on people's goodwill nowadays? Now that I think about it, it does sound pretentious and kind of selfish of me to expect some special treatment. Especially from absolute strangers. Well, I suppose I'll have to get ready to leave either way. Wrap myself in an embrace for a bit before I sheepishly proceed to the briefing room. The briefing room is about as empty as I'd seen it the night before. There's Max leaning in a corner, eyes closed, probably keeping to himself. He seems a lot more serene when he's all by his lonesome like this. I'd much rather avoid tangling with him even if I do end up staying here. It's only been less than a day, yet I already know that his personality doesn't mix well with mine. In an effort to avoid getting into the invisible radius of Max's wrath, I shimmy around the opposite corner, slowly inching myself closer to where Alice stands. Tigra seems to be deep in concentration, directed at the large screens in front of her. She turns her head in my direction, seemingly enough for her to see me in her peripherals. However, she's acting as if I'm not even there. I inch closer to her, trying to see what has her extremely focused. Her figure isn't that big, so I'm able to peek through some of the panels she has floating around her. One of them has a picture of me and some blocks of text trailing down beyond the panel. Try to read what was on it, but I'm caught off guard when Alice collapses it and turns to me. Hey there, sleeping beauty. Rest well? I'm fine, I suppose. Your beds are a lot softer than the floor. It better be. It wasn't exactly cheap outfitting all these bedrooms. I chuckle a little at her snark, feeling my mood starting to lighten up a bit. So, what was it that you needed from me? Her smile slowly dissipates, and its places a stern, albeit uneasy, expression. She turns her head from her desk before giving her attention to me, breathing out a heavy sigh in the process. Well, it's about your arrangement in staying here. A pit in my stomach forms, knowing full well what she's about to tell me. What about it? Well, it's a little hard to explain. Well, Adrian, you see... Ugh, just get to the point already. Max suddenly blurts out, clearly listening in on our conversation. Shut it, Max. Alice retorts while I stand awkwardly in the middle of the tension that forms between them seemingly out of nowhere. Right, you, can't stay here. I cringe internally as Alice confirms what Max said earlier. That is, unless you join our group. Huh? Before we even notice, Max is already stomping towards us, his scowl shifting into nothing short of subdued anger. Alright, sis, what crap are you peddling on? I flinch at Max's sudden advance while Alice stays underneath, undeterred, not even passing so much as a quick glance at the large tiger. It was our decision. Our? I didn't hear of any Mine and Oswald's. What? Max, visibly taken aback, face palms at what seems to be an absurdity to him. This is ridiculous. Look, Max, he's better staying here with us than out there in the open. Because of the goodwill of your own hearts? He says rather flippantly, mocking the female. To keep our location from being leaked, you idiot! Of course, and can you explain to me why you didn't bother to tell me about this? Would you have said anything besides, no? No? And then we're done talking. Can I be Robin? A short while after that rather amusing spat between the two, Oswald comes in from the entrance with behind Max holding two paper bags. They seem to be filled to the brim, the contents peeking out from the top of the rough brown texture of the bags. What's going on here? I could hear screaming from the other end of the hallway. Oh, great! Here comes the pup's savior! I'm going to assume you already filled Adrian in. I was about to, but someone just had to interrupt. Max rolls his eyes and proceeds to just close himself off from the two, scoffing as he goes back to his corner. I like Alice. Alright, now that he's out of the way... Alice. Alice. There's a hint of sternness to his voice, almost as if he's reprimanding Alice. Right, gotta explain everything to the newbie. Let's just move on, shall we? Right. Oswald moves to the side in a rather sluggish manner while Alice expands a specific panel from her desk to fully display all the information on it. While I do find what Alice has in store for me rather interesting and honestly a bit overwhelming, I can't help but notice the disappointed look on Oswald's face. I take a quick glance at Max, having returned to his sulking spot, wearing a similar expression about him, though he's a lot more sullen than annoyed. Alright, Adrian, before I go about the nitty-gritty, I'm going to need your verbal confirmation. Alice takes out a rather small box from her desk drawer. She opens it in front of me to reveal an armlet-like device inside. Will you join Midnight Sun? She asks me in a rehearsed fashion. Sure? Your response needs to be certain, Adrian. Okay, yes! The device lights up, after which Alice closes the box and places it back on her desk. Alright then, we'll take your word for it. Now what, do I work for the bar now, or... Well, yes and no. Huh? Here, let me explain. Okay, this is actually kind of cute. Like you have Max over here being a little bitch, just like you have Oswald over here just like Alice is just done with everything, and Adrian is all like Alice proceeds to move out of the way of the large panel behind her that's displaying multiple images and paragraphs of text. There was a picture of a tower, one that looked quite familiar, then a block of text that seemed to be an article underneath it. The headline is about Eden Core. That would make the building Eden Tower. The very same tower has a miniature version displayed in the center of the plaza's fountain. Oh, Adrian has 0 brain cells? That's adorable. I'm sure you're well versed about Eden Core and its humble beginnings here in Bayline City. They're the main reason why this country is among the leading ones in the first world. Yup. You can hardly miss that fact because of all of our advancements technologically that are present in today's society. Expanding from medical technology to all branches of technology, then to philanthropic work, you'd be forgiven if you thought that they are a mostly benevolent entity. Sadly, that isn't the whole story. It's not? But how? Well, what do you get when you're the reason for a large party's success? Power? Exactly. Ever since Eden Core's CEO, Evelyn Eden, made her advancements in the industry, her company started to become a focal point for lots of favors and benefits. Problem is, it was the government that quickly became the company's #1 backer. Oh no. After a few years, they turned the government into their lapdog, using the power they achieved to exert more control over the city and the country at large. That's when all the shitty stuff started to happen. Max suddenly interjects from his corner, catching everyone off guard. Yes, in an instant, lives were ruined, entire neighborhoods either destroyed or turned into industrialized versions of what they once were. They gave the choice for people to monopolize and submit to the power of the company's expanding scope, or eliminate those that dare not to. He says rather grimly, a hint of disdain in his tone. Well, we don't need to explain it all in detail. You've experienced it for yourself. I guess that's true. When everything they said begins to settle in my mind, a realization suddenly hits me hard. Wait! So the thing that happened to me, it also happened to dozens of other people? By the boatload, sometimes more, sometimes less. At times experiencing a worse fate than you had. Then all of those protests against the Eden Core. The flickering embers of hope in people whose lives were ruined by the company. But if there's that many people protesting, why isn't anyone doing anything about it? Well, would you bite the hand that feeds you? All of those lives ruined in exchange for those who are left to benefit from the company's advancements. I thought to myself for a moment, some things don't add up about this whole thing. This can't be all there is behind Eden Core, right? All that technology that I enjoy and use every day, it's all built on the exploited lives of countless people? I haven't heard of any of these before. None of these stories ever went public. They have eyes and ears everywhere. Even if we did find a journalist who is willing to report on it, the technology that surrounds them would only serve to strengthen their bias. So, what do we do? What do all of you have to do with the Incore anyway? Well, we're gonna be fighting fire with fire. What? Yeah, that's allowed. Just, I'm gonna bite you. No, I didn't mean to click that. No, but okay. Someone posted on the chat that they would bite the guy's dick. I think it was Lug. Lug, were you the one who said that you were going to bite their dick off? Just what? Oh, okay. Yeah, I meant to click okay, but I accidentally clicked no. They want to control other people's lives from the shadows, so we'll just bring the fucking fight to the shadows, too. What we do can be somewheres like that, yeah. We use the guise of a bar to clear away as much suspicion as we can while we fight to level the playing field for everyone. So you guys are like some sort of resistance? Someone has to fight for the helpless. Oswald poses rather heroically in front of me, causing Alice to chuckle a bit. My god, stop that. You're making me want to hurl my breakfast out. Hang on, I'm checking something. Yeah, I'm checking something real quick. My god, stop that! You're making me want to hurl my breakfast out. Adrian seems to appreciate it, yeah? That made me realize that I was blushing in front of them, making me want to cover my face a little out of embarrassment. Okay, now that that's all settled, time to give you a grander tour of the place. Also, don't you and Max have some training to do? Oh, right, I was rushing because of that. Kinda zoned out back there. Just go take Max and leave. She says abruptly, unamused at Oswald's apparent cluelessness. Right, heyo, Max, time to... I was waiting on you, bud. Of course you were. Been waiting to unwind in the training room. Oswald places his arm around Max's shoulder as he said that, half hugging the tiger. Get off of me. Not until we get there. What do you mean? It was pretty cool. On Jericho Twitch. Oh. Remember the Flowers developer Twitch. Check that out. Not until we get there. Then both of them disappear into the hallway behind me, leaving me alone with Alice. Alright, now that they're gone, time to get you better acquainted with the place. Huh? Already? Yup, can't have you being a lost, deadweight puppy for too long. Right? Just what have I gotten myself into? I know, I read about that. Didn't join it, though. One day I'm living my life being a DJ in a gig for some big bar, then all of a sudden I'm part of some underground resistance group? And here I thought I'd only stay for at least one night in a comfy bed, too. Kind of a huge leap in the sequence of events there, I'd say. I didn't even have any time to dawdle on the absurdity of this whole thing, though, as Alice is already pulling me towards a short opening just across the hallway Max and Oswald went through. Let's start with the infirmary. Okay. Just, please stop tugging on my jacket. Oh? Sorry, just don't be too slow, alright? I'll try to keep up! We walk through a rather short hallway with little to no bends or intersections with the set of doors at the end of the path. Alice stops briefly to unlock the door and open them for me to get a good look at the infirmary. This is the infirmary. You can have any bruises or wounds fixed up or any cuts and gashes stitched here, and believe me, you'll be getting a lot of them. Well, that's quite a comforting thought. Mm-hmm. Oh, and don't go inside that other set of doors over there unless someone explicitly tells you to, okay? Yeah, Axel, or Aaron. Alright. Okay, the infirmary's starting to give me the creeps right now, and I'm not here for it. I just hope wherever they're going to make me doesn't involve me having to visit this place way too often. What's wrong? Your fur's all bristled. Nothing, just anxious. Let's move on, shall we? Okay, if you say so. Alice ushers me out of the infirmary right back to the lounge. We then make a turn towards the hallway, but instead of going right to the rooms, we go straight ahead. The door back there leads to the kitchen. It doesn't get used very often, only for when Oswald and I get the meals ready for the team. Just opposite that is a greenhouse, another place you shouldn't go to without explicit permission. It dawns on me that the two restricted doors seem to lead to the same general area. Curiosity fills my mind and I eventually cave in. Why can't I go there exactly? Well, that place connects to the testing labs my partner and I use. We make just about everything the team needs for any assignments that they might get tasked to do. What kind of assignments? Oh, you know, recon missions, occasional heists here and there. Everyone's got their style and spin on finishing their tasks, and me and my partner try our best to accommodate those with the right tools. So, you're kind of like an inventor? For the team, yes. No one else has the correct handle on it, so I took up the task. Maybe someday I'll be able to set you up with some better gear, once I get to know your specific style better. Starting with that jacket. My jacket? What's wrong with it? Don't think I didn't notice that you bought that from Neon Peaks. Same place I buy my clothes, but I did hide that one away so nobody could buy it and wear it around during my last visit at the plaza. No wonder I had to look for it in some secluded shelf. You say something? Nothing. Alice just shrugs and continues with the tour. She walks into the hallway, eventually reaching an opening at the end. There were sounds of hollowed-out steps coming from that direction, and I can see a sort of platform, as well as the shuffling legs of a familiar tiger and wolf pair. Last but not least, this is the training room. You'll most likely be using this place a lot if you're to do some legwork out in the field. You mean work in the field? Revolutions don't happen while you're lazing about in the base all day, you know. Not unless you're me, that is. Huh. Alice peeks a bit in the training room before grabbing me by the arm. She places me beside her as I get the full view of the entire place. The entrance is mostly blocked by a boxing ring with Oswald and Max in the middle of a sparring session inside. Just next to it are a few weights as well as some panels. To the distance is what looks like a shooting range all lined up with long vertical divisions. Well, this is where the tour ends. I still have to set everything up for you, so you can go watch these two while they bruise each other's faces in the meantime. Alright, thanks for showing me around. You better not get lost now. Alice turns around and towards the direction of the lounge as I proceed to shamble my way around the ring. Oswald and Max are going at it, exchanging quick blows, little to none of them ever really connecting. As I continue to watch them, it becomes apparent how agile Oswald is compared to Max, but the tiger's strikes were a lot more fierce in comparison. I could feel the wind-breaking aura of Max's jabs. Then, as Max goes in for one quick strike on Oswald's muzzle, the wolf quickly evades it, landing a quick strike directly on the tiger's stomach. This causes Max to stagger a bit, coughing as he falls to his knees. 4-3, Max. One more strike and I win. Gah! You're so fucking slippery! And you waste stamina trying to make every stroke count. What did I tell you about long tussles? Only wind up the ones that you can connect. That can connect, right? Exactly. Sorry, just been in a bad mood since that husk. That's when Max's eyes fall on me, prompting him to do a double take. He quickly clicks his tongue as he enters his closed-off form again. Oswald approaches and places his paw on Max's shoulder before giving him a stern look. The tiger only scoffs as he makes his way to lean on one of the corners of the ring. Oswald then turns to me, putting some of his weight on the ropes of the side closest to me. Hey, Adrian, glad to see you done with the tour. Yeah, it went by pretty quickly. Holy shit, I gotta admit, I'm not just nervous because it's Oswald. There was biceps. His suit was hiding all that muscle. Sure, his pecs were poking out, but there was enough suspension of disbelief that it wasn't just muscle. But he's toned all over. No! I compose myself, but then Max isn't all that bad either. No, stay focused. Just watch and learn from their form. It was pretty nice watching them fight. They looked professionals out there. They were so stoic and hyper-focused on each other. Fuck. Guess I'm going to horny jail. Shit. Their bodies, though, all tensed up and sweaty. Ugh, why did this mood have to strike now? Damn you, my inconsistent sleep routine. Are you going to stay and watch? It won't be for long, though, because I'm about to whoop this guy's ass. Hey, don't count your victories if you haven't even won them yet. I've still got some fight left in me, and then some. His gaze drills onto me as he says that last part. Yeah. Should still probably go to horny jail, though. Oh. Prove it, then. Max lets out a huff, tugging on his vest a bit. I attentively watch the... Oh no, he's taking his vest off. Oh god, not now! Okay, remind yourself that he's an asshole. Remind yourself that he hasn't been nice to you at all. And that he's taking off his shirt. He's pulling his cock out. Wait, what? Yeah! I quietly exclaim as I quickly block my face with my paws. Max doesn't notice, though. His focus completely on Oswald. The wolf, on the other hand... Show off. I take a peek into the gaps of my fingers and... Oh no. Is that Oswald's back? Oh, please don't turn around. Please don't turn around. Wait, was that a piece of clothing? I lower my hands to see what's definitely Oswald's crumpled up clothes in front of me, drenched in sweat. I try to resist with all my goddamn might, being a pervert in front of them. Oh god, how does Dylan even manage to stay fast with coworkers like these? Ready? I attempt to calm down, trying to contain myself enough to just watch the sparring match like a normal person. Oswald and Max begin circling each other, gauging for an opening to show itself. But then, I get a good look at Oswald's front side. Is that a treasure trail? Welp. If you need me. I'm going to horny jail. Bye. And I'm back. Yeah, horny jail was kind of mid. As I exhale to alleviate the heat welling up within me, they charge violently at each other. Max doesn't hesitate, going straight for Oswald's muzzle. But the wolf manages to box himself in, making himself harder to hit. This causes Max's strike to miss, allowing Oswald to have a clear shot at Max's side. Predictable. Max suddenly pivots when he sees Oswald beginning to wind up to strike. He twists his form and smoothly positions himself behind the wolf. This catches Oswald off guard, making him stumble a bit in the direction opposite of where Max is. He quickly recovers, though, stopping himself just by the edge of the ring. But Max was already closing in on Oswald while the wolf attempted to quickly turn around to face the tiger. He wasn't able to turn fast enough, as evident by Max quickly striking him straight to the muzzle. This causes the wolf to fall onto the floor. Make that 4-4. Max quickly fumes from his nostrils, turning to glance at me before looking back to the recovering Oswald. Max quickly fumes from his nostrils, turning to glance at me before looking back to the recovering Oswald. That was a nice hit, Oswald says while he holds the lower part of his jaw. Slowly backing up. Slowly standing back up. The wolf only gives Max a rather menacing look, the tiger returning the favor with equal mettle. Oswald starts pacing around the ring again, seeming to recover rather quickly from the pain. Max just simply stares him down. This is supposed to feel a bit much as far as I'm concerned. Are friendly spars supposed to be this tense? I didn't have any time to contemplate as Oswald suddenly goes in for a sucker punch while Max was unprepared, making the tiger stumble backward. Before he manages to regain his composure, though, Oswald was already ready to strike him again. Max quickly moves to the right, managing to dodge, and aims for Oswald's side. The tiger quickly closes his fist and throws it onto Oswald. The wolf seizes the opportunity and grasps onto the tiger's arm, allowing him to lock Max in a hold. He then prepares to strike Max's face, but the tiger blocks the strike with his other arm. He retaliates by headbutting the wolf, causing Oswald to let go before falling onto the floor. He curls up, gently grasping the area Max hit. "4 to 5. Told you, Oswald. Oswald!" I quickly rush towards Oswald, but he quickly speaks past the groans. "I'm fine. Just give me a sec. Just give me a second." Oswald slides down under the ropes of the ring, almost falling over from the apparent dizziness. I try my best to support him, but he gently brushes me away. I briefly look at Max, only to see that he doesn't even seem the least bit concerned. I follow Oswald towards one of the benches. I sit beside him and attempt to examine the swelling. "Are you going to be okay?" He glances at me as he heaves up his breaths. "It's nothing. I'm just a little embarrassed, to be honest." I see. After his breath steadies a bit, Oswald slowly stands from his seat. He then signals me to follow as he makes his way towards the shooting range. "Come on, Adrian. There's something I want to show you." "Alright." "We're going to leave off here tonight." Guns. My back. Anyways, stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.